Guys, I'm so sweaty from my run, and I have 2 Instagram pages, and I just went live on the wrong page. Anyway, hello, good morning. I'm going to talk about icky bro marketing, pain point marketing, women that are encouraged to do things that don't feel good in our businesses, bro tactics, and my perspective on whether evergreen or constant live launching is required for you to have big success in your business. And as someone who has huge financial success from doing no icky tactics, I don't pain point market, I don't cold DM, I don't constantly live launch, I don't rely on things like urgency to create sales. I'm going to really show you how I do this, but like, what is happening here? But I do want to say that like I have done so many things in the past that feel ick in my business. So if you are actually at the moment, maybe after listening to this, like, fuck, I'm doing loads of things in my business that actually are just so unaligned and give me the ick, like, you are not a bad person for this. Or if you've done it in the past, like, guys, you know, there's all a time in our life where like girls just gotta fucking eat, okay? And you're just doing your best and you are following what a mentor's taught you to do, or you did follow what a mentor's taught you to do, and like, it doesn't need to mean anything about you, but the important thing is like coming home to alignment and really seeing that there is another way. So I wish I had heard this conversation years ago, so let's just crack on with it. You are going to want to come back to this, so save it if you are listening on replay, because we're going to talk about all the things. So I'm going to start initially with marketing. I saw some pretty aggressive pain point marketing the other day, and again, like, I don't judge. Like, I am never even judging the business owner behind this thing. Like, they are just someone that wants to reach their client, they want to grow their business, and they're probably just doing what they've been told to do. But it is so unnecessary in this day and age to be shamey, wildly aggressive, push on people's pain point, like basically talk into the lack of anything with your clients. Now, does this mean that sometimes you can't cut the crap, stay in authority, like just say the fucking thing? No, like you can absolutely, and I absolutely, like, I will always talk in my marketing the way that I would if you were my best friend, and my client is the kind of client, or my follower or the person in my community is the kind of person that wants me to just give it to them straight, and I'm the kind of person that gives things straight. So for example, hello babe, I've missed you. You know, if I was getting the point across of like, okay, so say I had a client, prospective client in my following, and I know from my expertise they are stuck in their masculine, they haven't got a fucking clue what that means, I probably will make a piece of content that's like, the fact that you will literally not stop and you don't know how to stop is costing you hundreds of thousands, and we need to cut the crap and have a conversation about it. Let's just say as a sake of argument, and I explain to them why. So there's a complete difference between just like being strong and using your voice, because again, that needs to happen. There's a lot of like generic wishy-washy vanilla fucking shit going on in people's marketing as well, which is just because they've got a lack of confidence of being able to just say the thing in their way. It doesn't need to be my way, it doesn't need to be someone else's way, but it is totally unnecessary to be like aggressively pain point marketing. I'm going to give some examples here. I have had clients come in, especially in the fitness industry, who have told me things that they have been encouraged to do in like bro marketing, hustly, toxic containers that they've been in that I can't. Let me give you an example. One of them was encouraged to make their clients cry on sales calls. Like, if you make the client cry, you're doing really well. It means you're going to get the sale. Absolutely the fuck not. I'm going to tell you why this doesn't work from an energetic standpoint. Okay, not only is she now making a shitload more money in her business and not doing sales calls. If you want to do sales calls, you can do sales calls, but you will not need to do sales calls when you're in my world. You will close 4-figure deals in the DMs coming back from a run, right? And it will feel natural. But energetically, every time you're doing something that basically gives you the ick, okay, like pain point marketing, like, do not tell me that if you or I wrote a piece of pain point marketing or applied those same kind of conversation types in a sales call, do not tell me that that wouldn't give you the ick, because it would give you the ick. I know when I've done things in the past that aren't in alignment with myself, it's given me the ick. It's felt shit. It's, you know, it's not something that you feel good about. You feel it. Okay, that's the energy of resistance. That is the energy of lack. You literally cannot and will not ever make the most amount of money when you are in that frequency. So this is one of the many things that we can layer onto ourselves, which is just making the whole thing so much fucking harder than we need to. So basically, you don't need to make people feel like shit in your marketing to do well. What a sigh of relief. And when you come home to that, it feels so good. Like, content will start to feel more fun for you to create, and it's super healing when you're like, yes, I can be strong if I want to be strong, and that's also going to bring the right client in, because it's going to repel the wrong client and it's going to bring the right client in. But like, it feels really good and really healing to know that you can talk to your client in a respectful, empowering way, because you really respect your client, and make a lot of money, you know, like solve a lot of problems. Like, what a beautiful place to be. The other thing is, it will never bring in the right client. Like, one of the biggest things, I know I've said this in everything I've ever said, but if you're new here, listen in. One of the biggest things that people are making the mistake of when they come into my world and they really want to scale, they want to get to the next level, is they aren't clear enough on their dream client. They think they are, and they're not clear enough on their dream client. And even if they were, the client that they think is their dream client is not their dream client. So they're aiming too small. So if you're talking like shit, like in the post that I saw 2 days ago, literally like berating a post, this was someone in the fitness industry talking like absolute shit to their prospective client. Like, you are not going to get an empowered client come in if I'm like, you look like shit because you're eating shit, you're being fucking lazy, and you just need to do the thing and blah blah blah. Am I going to get a client in their power? No, I'm not. I'm probably going to get someone in, you know, like a victim mentality, that's in a terrible place, isn't actually ready to do the work or for change. And then you wonder why your business feels so hard. Like, power to power. Everyone that I talk to we're on the same level. I'm not better than them just because I've got the specific solution that I solve, and vice versa. Like, there's no superiority complex. I'm talking to them because I'm like, you're a genius at what you do. I could learn a huge amount from you. Like, sure, I can solve this. Has my audio just gone on? I can solve this specific issue for you, but that doesn't make me a more superior person or a better person than you, you know? So same way that if we were at dinner, we would be having an uplifting, curious, strong, powerful, respectful conversation. Like, that tone is the one to be used in your marketing. The second thing that I want to talk about before we go into, is live launching or evergreen necessary to make money? Like, what do you need to know about both of these in your programs or your offers? Is I want to talk about sales tactics, because it's going to blend into this. So like, do you need to get crafty in order to make sales? Like how crafty do you need to be with this kind of thing? Not crafty. Debbie has said the ick is the body's barometer. Yes, 100%. Like, when you get the ick, know that you're applying resistance to the very result that you want, essentially, and know that that's your signal trying to say to you, like, this isn't right, this isn't what we should be doing. And if you're so disconnected from your body that you're like, I just am the ick, like, I feel anxious all the time, then like, we need to stop. That is a big red flag that like, things aren't in alignment. And when things are in alignment, they get to be easy. It gets to be easy. Okay. So anyway, you do not need weird sales tactics to make money. You do not need weird sales tactics to make money. I'm talking in conversations in the DMs, I'm talking in your marketing, I'm talking in sales calls, I'm talking on landing pages. And what I'm going to talk about is false urgency, okay? Because I know this is something that a lot of people have been encouraged into. Now, let's talk about the live launch evergreen thing. So say you had an offer. What sometimes gets encouraged, or like a program, whatever your thing is, okay, it may be low ticket, mid ticket, high ticket, it doesn't fucking matter. It's a lot of people are encouraged into doing like open closed doors. So basically like, only launch the thing 3 times a year, and then close it because it's going to like create this like sense of urgency, and then essentially you're going to trick your audience, trick your prospective clients, trick your warm leads into buying it because it's going to make them want it more. Like, if that's how you want to run your business, more power to you. I'm behind you. Okay, I'll do whatever feels right for you. Maybe that feels right for you. Maybe you're like, I like that, I want to work in these cycles, and in which case that's absolutely fine. But if you were doing this purely because you thought you were going to make more sales, question for you: is that the energy of lack and scarcity, or is that the energy of abundance? That's the energy of lack, because the only reason on God's green earth that you would think you need to do that, in inverted commas, is because you would not believe that you could just have sales every day in your business, easily, effortlessly, when you've come off a run, when you wake up in the morning, when you go to work on a Wednesday. Yeah, the only reason. So you, again, you are the resistance. You're the only reason that's not happening. You do not need to do these weird sales tactics. Now, say you were a fitness person who did like in-person boot camps, and you really did need to do like a wait list because the product service really did rely on people starting at a certain time and doing this 6-week program together, and then that's absolutely fine. But when you've been encouraged into these kind of false tactics, it's a really, really cheap way of building your sales skill set. So if you're running a business from the energy of needing to rely on urgency and fake urgency, because there actually isn't a fucking reason for why you would need to do this, right? And why you couldn't leave the product as evergreen and open door. It's like making a baby sleep with a dummy. Okay, that's what it's like. Something wrong with it, but it's not the real deal. Okay, it's like you are constantly creating something that you are codependent on for the result that you need. Now, question: if this is something that's ever been encouraged, or maybe you've tried out, how much nicer would it feel if you didn't have to fucking do that? You didn't have to make fake wait lists. You didn't have to drum up fake urgency. You didn't have to use these fake tactics. If you just didn't have to do that, and you really could just exhale, create content, build your personal brand, make great connections, and have the ability to make sales every day without any of this kind of shit weighing on your shoulders. And now the other question is, what would be the resistance between you doing that? Where is your gap in self-belief? And that's the piece that we want to work on. We want to work on the skill set to be able to sell every day, okay, without needing this kind of fake shit and inauthenticity, basically. But we really want to look at the gap of belief. That's your problem. That is your secret to scaling for you personally. So that gap may look like, I don't back myself to be able to make those sales. I'm worried that I will not make that income. I don't know how to sell if there isn't a time, date and expiry and sense of urgency in it. I don't believe my product is good enough. I don't think my message is strong enough. And that, my friend, is our problem. So if we deal with that, then we're not going to have to do that kind of stuff. Yeah. If we pretend that stuff isn't the problem and we just carry on about our day, then we are literally just restricting ourselves from getting the result that we actually want to get from an easeful way. But my personal opinion and perspective on this is that it's a very, very short-sighted, lackey way of making money. As much as I don't make a 5-year plan, because I don't, I see business from an abundant perspective. I see absolutely everything from an abundant perspective, and shock horror, I get an abundant result. I get amazing clients, I get sales all the time, I make all the money in the world that I could want to make, I get the growth, I make the connections, and I really fucking enjoy the work I do. I enjoy making content, I love the work calls that I do, like I enjoy my work. It's all abundant, okay? And if you are just relying on these scarcity tactics, you're just building a personal brand that is laced in inauthenticity. And like I say, over the 5-year perspective, like, okay, fine. If you did this like really fucking calculated, inauthentic, icky, toxic, masculine thing of like, well, I'm going to open the doors and then I'm going to shut the doors and then I'm going to create all this pretend urgency for no other reason. Like, would you make a couple of extra grand a month or a year or from that launch? Maybe. But in my opinion, you're completely ignoring the most important ingredient to your business, which is who you're being as a business owner behind the business. Because you will make the most amount of money, if that's what it's really about, as a byproduct of just being your most authentic self and building these relationships. Because I don't come from this high pressure, urgent, pushy, masculine energy, clients feel so safe to come in. Clients feel so safe to re-sign because there's no pressure. I'm like, come if you want, don't if you don't. It's not a fucking cult. You can leave if you want to leave, you can stay if you want to stay, because I believe in the value of what I deliver and I believe in my client. I have a lot of respect for them. Do you know what? If they need to be somewhere else, or they need to do the summer, or they need to have a minute, or like, then that's cool. Like, I respect that. So how much better do you think my business does as a byproduct over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years because of the quality of those relationships, because people don't feel in this pressure cooker? So it's such a short-sighted way of running business, and it really is ick. And the thing is, when you're being ick, you feel ick, you give yourself the ick, so then you wonder why you're not enjoying your business, and it's because you're not building and running business in a way that feels good to you. So you're never going to enjoy it. You're not enjoying who you're showing up as, so don't expect to be enjoying the work, don't expect to be enjoying the relationship, so expect to be enjoying the day-to-day. So really what I'm trying to say in this overall is, like, there is another way of doing this. Like, business gets to be so much easier than you've realized when you really come home to who you are, how you feel, how you work, what you really want, and how you want to fucking do it. And when you are doing things that feel good to you, you're throwing away the rule book. Sure, you've got to apply the important ingredients that you need, which is what mentorship's for, where someone says, you know, the author needs to have this, this, and this. It feels so much better. And really, from a quality perspective, sales wise, your sales skills really ought to be, and this is what we obviously do inside my world, is your sales skills need to be at a fucking level where you don't need urgency to sell. I made £4,000 Wednesday yesterday, out of nowhere. I wasn't on sales calls, because my level of skill set within sales and my level of authenticity and genuine care is of a quality where I don't need to do that kind of shit to make big money. Do you know what I mean? And how much better will you feel about yourself? Obviously you can sell. We're not going to have this conversation if you couldn't sell at all. But how much better are you going to feel about yourself as a woman when you can trust yourself? You have that trust in yourself that is where your skill set is, or that is where your skill set is growing to be. That you can make sales without the dummy, without giving yourself the ick, without doing anything that feels inauthentic. And that, my friend, is why these skills are the sexiest thing you can have as a woman, because it's shit that no one can take away from you. Not the economy, not someone's shitty advice, not, you know, when your world crumbles. It's like really building the real deal and knowing who you are. So that's my little perspective shift rant today, is that this just gets to feel so much different. Have a beautiful day. This is what we do inside CEO. If you are brand new and you would like a free resource in this, jump into the podcast and you will really start to hear like a different perspective on business, how much your energy is affecting what you're doing, where you can shift that kind of thing today. And you know where I am if you want to chat. Have a great day.